Welcome to Gosforth High Street, which is a residential suburb of Newcastle upon Tyne, which has always had its high street at its heart. My name's Colin Gregg, and I've lived in Gosforth the whole of my life. In fact, this area, the High Street of Gosforth, was known when I was a child as the village. And we used to say to our parents, we're just nipping down to the village. My parents actually started their first shop here on this high street, higher up the road there, which grew into great bakeries throughout the country. It's a fantastic place to live. It's a real community. It's about people caring about each other, and I can still walk up and down this high street now, and I'm bound to meet people I know.
Over the last few years, one of the main changes to the High Street has been the opening of the Trinity Centre, a now well-used and well-loved community resource.
Attract around 2,500 people a week now. This is one of them, the mother and toddler group, and these mums, after they've been here, nip onto the High Street and shop. One of the other activities at the centre this morning is our craft group. They knit, they do tappy matting and all kinds of craft activities. And then they go shopping on our high street. One of our real challenges on the high street is it's a linear high street and the traffic gets very, very busy indeed. We're on the sort of narrower part of the high street now, where it is much more intense with traffic. And it's these areas that we can actually may be able to help, because behind over here are the main car parks of Gosforth, but there's no good signage. And one of the areas that we want to spend any money that we win at the Portas pilot is in fact to improve the signage and the entrance and exits to the car parking so that people can find them a great deal more easily. The deliveries are a challenge. You see, we have cars parked, we have vans parked, we have delivery lorries parked, all on double yellow lines. And it's time that in fact we started to get a much more positive attitude to try and stop this type of thing happening on our high streets.
Our team see this as a great opportunity to build on existing work. Funding would allow ideas to be put into action. For example, using the nearby park for events, promoting the high street through the internet and social media, putting on promotional weekends and weeks such as food festivals, sport and activity weeks, and outdoor entertainments and markets. We can also work with local and national businesses to ensure that we offer more shops for more shoppers.
We have our scratch bikes that people can pick up around the city and come here to shop. We have our electric charging bays for the electric cars. We have the metro just at the other end and a very good bus service. So we are already trying hard to attract people in different ways to come to the high street. What we need to try to do is to create this square right here so that we can have a safe area, an area where in fact the traffic is not as dominant and where people become the focus. So here we are right in the centre of Gosforth High Street, where we're going to build our new town square, which is to bring a heart back to our high street and be a safe place. And we can't do a great deal about the traffic as it thunders backwards and forwards up and down our linear high street. But what we can do is to create an area which is safe for people to sit quietly, as they are this afternoon, and also where we hold events so that we can attract more and more people onto the high street. We can have markets here to try to get people to start up businesses. We're now in Thorpe's shop on Gosforth High Street. So are you the oldest shop on the high street now? This is Colin Thorpe, and I just want to know, Colin, what's it like trading on a local community high street?
We've been here now for 67 years, so we've got a lot of experience with trading on the high street. Things have definitely changed, and we've got a lot of competition out of town trading, and I think the high street needs to become buoyant and attract families back to the high street. Perhaps things in the park, activities for children, things in the square across the road that attract families, so young children can start to think it's a good place to go rather than going out of town, bland, hectic places, then come to pleasant high streets.
Hi, this is Paul, who's the local manager for Santander in Gosforth, a national brand on the local high street. And I was going to ask Paul what it's like to be on a high street like Gosforth.
It's important to us as a company, really. We've been recognised as rewarded as giving excellent customer service to the local community, and that's something that we find really important at the national level. We find Gosforth High Street is a thriving high street, and it's an area that we'd always like to be in existence in our region.
We're now inside our shopping centre, which is actually managed and run by a member of our town team. And we've at last got a butcher back onto the high street, and next door to the butcher is Captain Ted's. Now the shopping centre has actually reduced the rent of this unit in order to attract local businesses back onto the high street. But
The town team know there are empty units and wants to encourage people to start up businesses here on Gosforth High Street. The North East is the poorest in the country for start-up businesses, and what the town team will do is to use their expertise to encourage people to have a go at business, whether that's through our local markets or in the shared space. Any way at all to get businesses to start up on the high street. And you never know, we may have another success story like Greg's starting up on Gosforth High Street.
where we started, in front of the square that we hope to build. And I just want to try and sum up. And I think that one of the great things about the High Street is we're a great team of people working together. We definitely have our strengths. It's now much busier. We have more niche shopping, and we're attracting more and more people onto our High Street to shop, and hence the businesses will grow. But we also have the negatives. You know, we do know that there are one or two empty shops along the High Street, and what we need to do is to attract the very best niche shopping that we can get. And I think we will go out of our way to do that, as has already happened in the shopping centre, where we have our nationals and our niche shopping together, forming a really good shopping experience. There's also the first floors. We have empty first floors, and if we can attract businesses to those, then that will also add to the whole ethos of the High Street. And so if we get all the shops full, the first floors tackled, the parking right, and also then we need the heart back to our High Street. And here we'll have our town square, which will be safe for people, will attract people, because we'll have chess and drafts and farmers markets and all kinds of activities here. Then that will add hugely to the shopping experience in Gosforth High Street. Do come and see us. It's a great high street, but we can do so much more with your help.